I think that you two, Eric Yu, Peter Liu, how great is that, have one of the best restaurants I've ever been in. Peace Foods Cafe. And you actually say Peace Food Cafe.
Yeah.
It's not the official title.
Right.
No
Peace
S on it.
No.
But a lot of people just say, I'll meet you at Peace Foods.
Yeah.
Isn't it? The
Right.
cafe
Yeah.
seems to be being left off a lot.
Hey, maybe the next one will be Peace Foods then.
Okay. Okay. Now I know that, Peter, you're an interior designer and quite an accomplished one. You've worked with lots of chefs and done very impressive restaurants. So, how much responsible for you, or were you, for the interior of
Peace Food? Yeah, I basically planned out everything, designed it in 3 days, and and just kind of put together. I mean, we had a really small shoestring budget, and we had to watch every single penny that we spent because we didn't really have any investor. It's just the two of us, and everything we did, we kind of share the responsibilities. The stuff that he could do that I probably can do, and the stuff that I'm better at that he wouldn't really want to sidestep on it. But we kind of like worked together, and he asked a lot of my opinions, and I asked about his opinions. The only thing that he actually made me, or I had to get feedbacks from him, is the kitchen layout. Because I didn't really know. He was the one who was planning on the menu, so I really needed his input on that. Yeah.
Well, being on a shoestring had to be hard for you because you do very high-end places.
Yes, it's the complete opposite. Yeah. So we had actually, dug out our collections. The stuff that you see on the walls in Peace Food is basically what we had, in his previous business, an antique store. And we didn't have to spend a lot of money on the decoration, and most of the money went into the kitchen equipment and just to put the place together.
Eric, I understand that you were in an antique store, and he really devised the restaurant during the week while you were there. Is that true?
During the week?
Somebody told me that.
What do you mean during the week?
Well, while you were working at another job, you were...
No.
Oh, no? Oh, okay.
No. Actually, I closed the antique store a year before Peace Food opened. It takes a year of focused meditation, so yeah. So everything is, I think, is well planned, although it seems like it's not, when you look at the restaurant, it looks like it's a pretty charming, simple restaurant. But I think I spent a lot of time shopping around for location and all that, dealing with landlord and that kind of thing. It takes a lot of time. But there's a lot of, at the beginning, there's a lot of disappointment. Landlord not renting it as the space to us because we don't have experience or previous restaurant.
But what made you want to have a restaurant to begin with?
Well, I always know that I like to serve. I like to serve people. I like to kind of like to please people. Like, I think food is very direct, so you get the instant feedback. So just
good or bad.
a feeling like want to take care of people, and also I'm very lucky that I have that kind of personality. So that makes it like I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. Like, just to me, I think it's quite natural. Yeah.
Now I know there's several dishes on the menu at Peace Foods that some people I know that go in just say, well, they can't go in without having that. And so what are a few of those first?
Well, me, I always grab a piece of dumpling when I walk in and out of the kitchen, or chickpea fries, something that is finger food, At home, well, I mainly cook for Peter and cook for friends, so personally, I don't really eat a lot. I think I taste all the food that probably enough for me to eat, so it was like a little bit here, a little bit there, so but I also like to just drink juice. I think juicing is Peter and I some time ago we were into juicing, so we at the beginning of the day we juice a lot and then give him a bottle and I have a bottle and then we take it to work and then we drink a lot of juice. And we do juice fast. We do fasting. We experiment a lot of different kind of lifestyle.
So when you fast, you use the juices to fast on?
Yes, and we also use the lemon diet, which is the master cleanse. So I think we all should use. Actually, we all should fast. Once a year.
For how long?
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
Wow. And when you said the lemon
master cleanse, which is the lemon juice with spring water, maple syrup, cayenne pepper. It's all on the internet. So
But when you do your 10-day cleanse, you really do other juices as well, right?
No. Well, I would choose just the juice or just the lemonade.
Oh, I see.
I think the lemonade is. I would recommend that.
What is your favorite juice? Because I love asking that.
Yeah, green lemonade. So all the green leaves that we have that day, it's all seasonal. So I tend to use a lot of spinach. Although people think kale or collard green is good, Swiss chard is good. But with the lemon, apple, and ginger, and that, to me, it tastes good. It doesn't taste like you're drinking just earthy kind of liquid, so it's easy to drink.
And then what is the liquid in it? I mean, what if people only have a blender? That they don't have a fancy
juice. Fasting, you can. I would not recommend blender because you have the fiber in it. So juicer, the fiber being removed. So then
could it be squeezed through a cheesecloth or a muslin?
There's a lot more work.
Because a lot of people don't have juicers.
Yeah, but these days, I think Hamilton makes a very powerful horsepower juicer. It's only $75. No, my friend has it. The other day I juiced with her cauliflower, broccoli, just mainly that two together. It tastes good. But I don't know if I have to drink it every day. It might not be the same. But it's powerful. It's like for household, $75 to $100, and you could get a decent one.
So
at home, I also use just the household one, not the commercial one.
Yes. So you don't have to add any water to it to get it.
You don't add water.
Yeah, because some people have, if they're just using blenders, but if they're not fasting, they can do a juice in the blender.
True. A lot of people prefer blender too. I don't know why. I personally, if I want a juice, I have to do a juicer, or you would call it a smoothie. That's a different name.
Yeah, that's true. It has a little bit more substance to it when it's in a blender.
It's more like a meal. Some people prefer
more like a meal. Yeah.
Right.
To do a smoothie as a meal. So
a lot of people just have a smoothie as a meal. Yeah, which I think where you have to believe in juicing to be able to feel like you want to buy a juicer.
Absolutely.
I think I totally recommend people to drink more juice. It takes 5 minutes to get your bloodstream. You get all the nutrients much faster than you think. Than chewing food, and I think eating fiber only if you feel hungry, take care of the hunger. Then you should eat.
But also fiber help.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, but talking about juicing for fasting to replace food, and I think you need a juicer. Really, but only one thing I don't recommend is when you do juicing, try not to juice a lot of fruit because then you intake a lot of sugar. So use mostly like 2/3 of vegetable. Lemon is an excellent fruit in the whole universe and get you a lot of good benefit.
Yeah, a lot of people are surprised that there's no fiber in meat and dairy products. They think because they cut into a steak that looks fibrous or something. There's no fiber.
I feel sad people don't always have a misconception about meat. Meat stays in your system for so long, and all those toxins, in the meat, it's really. it will stay so long in your system. That's how we develop cancer. I mean, the body, because of the meat, it just doesn't.
It's too
come
strong
out.
for our systems as well.
Yeah. God don't make us that way.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you, so many people and other nutritionists and many books say have oatmeal for breakfast. I like to have oatmeal for breakfast very frequently. However, I came one morning for brunch in your place and you made me some quinoa porridge. And a lot of people forget the nursery rhyme about the porridge, you know. But it's really like a hot breakfast oat or bran or some sort of a grain cereal that has been cooked. I loved it so much, but I never made it then at home because I couldn't remember how I was supposed to make it. How do you make quinoa porridge?
We both come from Hong Kong and we eat porridge we have over 100 different kinds of porridge. We eat it
made
in the
with
morning,
rice.
made with rice. So we love porridge. So when we come to America, we adapted our lifestyle to American style. I think quinoa porridge has come from the South, right?
I never heard of it in the South.
It's not the South.
Oh, not the South of the United States, but
South of America.
South
but
America.
we used a shortcut way to do it. Like at home, we will probably do from scratch and all that and cook it for a long time. Here, we blend it, put it in the blender. You just like say a cup of quinoa, you puree it in a food processor or a blender. So
with water, or just into a flour?
Yeah, just make it into flour, and that way you cook it in 10 minutes. And okay, so then you got the ground quinoa, and then you add rice milk and water. You know, I think 1 cup, you put 2 cups of water. Maybe my recipe is 1 cup of water, 1 cup of quinoa, and 1 cup of rice milk, and then you cook it down to become thickening, you know, so the water will evaporate and then to get a consistency that you like, and then at the end, basically at that point, you just have to season it. So I put cinnamon, you know, you could put cinnamon stick at the beginning, or you put ground cinnamon at the end, and just a touch of agave and a touch of coconut milk.
Oh my. I do know at the restaurant that the chickpea fries are very popular, and it's made out of, is it chickpea flour?
Chickpea flour, yeah, chickpea flour.
And I know that frequently you have on the special like country southern fried chicken.
Yeah, we call it PFC and chicken. You know, well,
it's Peace Foods fried chicken instead of Kentucky fried chicken.
It's the best chicken and chicken that I taste in 10 years of being vegetarian. You know, people haven't tasted yet should try it next time. Come to Peace Food, and it's very simple actually. It's all about the breading, all about we use this seitan kind of chicken. Obviously is the only thing that fake that we use in the restaurant, but it tastes texture-wise just like chicken. But first of all, let me explain about why sometimes we use a couple of fake items. So we try to attract those people that are transitional vegetarian. So even myself being 10 years vegetarian, vegan, sometimes we remember
how good some of those things taste.
Because I have to say, Peter and I, before we kind of like a foodie, you know, because we love everything. It just now we find out that we should eat them, you know, what we talk about animal product. Right. But it doesn't mean that we didn't enjoy all the flavor or the texture and all that. So using a couple of those items in the menu is necessary because our market segment for Peace Food is those people are not vegetarian.
Yes.
But they're open-minded. Right. Those are the people.
But also vegans bring meat eaters into the restaurant.
Yes, also too, yeah.
And they look for things that they can identify a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. We have many cases that people eat at our restaurant and they become vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, going back to the PFC and chicken. Yeah, those very simple. But right now, we also offer another sauce called chipotle sauce. You know, so it's also the sauce that we create that goes well with the chicken. So, well, in the old days when I eat KFC, we will have the biscuit and then
Mashed potatoes.
mashed potato and all that. At Peace Food, you could also order the potato salad. We made our own vegan biscuit now. You know, just because I cannot go to the outside. Our biscuit is sometimes when I eat it, I felt I was so lucky. You know, God created all these different kind of people to help each other, and it's really about the energies that we have at Peace Food and the food that tastes so good and makes me feel so grateful. You know, I feel that I'm very lucky, and I hope that people eat at Peace Food feel that energy that I feel. You know, because almost everything that we made is handmade on premise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yes, and you even have vegan desserts.
dessert, yeah, and we are probably the only vegan restaurant in New York City had a full case of dessert that made every day fresh on premise. And the next day, we now after 5 o'clock every day we have a basket selling a day old bakery for half price.
Oh,
you know.
I'm glad
It's
to know
great for
that.
people that-
That's
because
good.
before a lot of people buy at Peace Food because there's not too many restaurant there that sell vegan dessert and have such a big variety, so they tend to come in and buy half dozen of cupcake and half dozen of something else and then they freeze them and then they bring it out to eat, and like the next day it's actually pretty tasty.
Yeah, I do
Sometimes
that
it's
too,
better
myself. Yeah.
you put it in the freezer and then take it out, put it in the refrigerator, then the next day it got defrost
perfect.
and then it's
Yeah.
get the perfect texture. But the Peace Food have that offer now for half price, and we save a lot of money because it's kind of we giving it away because the ingredient is so expensive, and now we have to sell at the half price. You know,
Now, most of your ingredients are organic, aren't they?
on the bakery is mostly organic. On the in the restaurant, the food is not. Whenever that I need to cook, I have chosen not organic because I want to keep the price down to the level that everybody could afford, and they could come in like twice, 3 times a week. You know, I see faces like twice a day, all the time. Where if you go to other places, not even organic, other vegan restaurant or any restaurant, you know that we're still in a recession. You know, people don't go out.
Oh yeah,
often.
and Peter, I've often seen you after your day job. I can see you in there
Yeah.
and
Cleaning.
You'll bus a table. You will do anything that needs to be done. It's unbelievable to watch.
I just want to make sure that Peace Food, to maintain it, the environment, for the people who goes to Peace Food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more or less my job, instead of running the kitchen or the service staff, in the front of the house and all that. So, that's sort of my responsibility, just
Yes.
just to try to make the environment, comfortable for the people who come to enjoy the food.
If somebody were just toying with the idea of transitioning to a plant-based diet, what would you say to them to encourage them?
It's a myth that most people think that plant-based diet cannot provide you with enough nutrients and all that, and it's totally a myth. It everything comes from the plant. I mean, the animal eats the plant, that's why you get calcium. The calcium comes from the earth. It doesn't come from milk. The cow eats the grass, that's why they get calcium, so eventually you will get the calcium. I mean, there are so many things that people just are not known, and I guess, the meat industry or the dairy industry try also, they're such a powerful company, and they try to keep, all this information away from the people, so they are not aware of it. But I think, you know, the whole vegan movement now that, you know, making people more aware of, you know, a vegan diet is really good for you. And I think they're starting to open up. And I can see, you know, more and more people opening up. But, you know, they still have to kind of like make that decision that, you know, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut out everything. You know, this is, most people would say that, oh, I can't really cut out the cheese.
Right, especially cheese.
You know, I love cheese, what am I gonna do? But you know, I mean, if you go for vegan for 30 days, you know, if you eat a vegan diet for 30 days, and I think you probably will become a vegan.
I tell people now, okay, so eat all plant-based and eat cheese, because I know eventually they're not going to have the taste for cheese at some point, but I don't want that to be the stop.
Yeah, we cannot really.
So just tell them, okay, so
yeah, just do it gradually, but eventually, you know, just like us, we actually became a vegetarian for 7 years. I think 7, 8 years, and then I think we cut out all the dairy together in 2007, which has been 4 years now.
Yes. Yeah. And anyone who doesn't know, you're both 70 years old. It was like
Well, I have to add something too regarding having people to eat more, become a vegan or vegetarian. I become a vegetarian because I always try to make fun of myself, but it's partially true. It's for vanity. You know, I really think that it will make me look better, make me look feels better. Exactly, make me feel like I'm a better person. You know, people should come to our restaurant to eat with those surrounding. We're surrounded by so many beautiful people that eat in our restaurant. I think a lot of people have a misconception. You know, maybe not now, but they think vegetarian are pale, they look green, they're like hippie and all that. But no, these days we are in this era that they are happy, they really vibrant, is it the word? Like vibrant, joyful, the face looks really beautiful. I mean, you have to come to see it, you know. If they, I myself always get the compliment, and people say, "Oh, you look like," because when I tell people how I am, they say, "I would eat anything that you eat." Follow your lifestyle. So it's and we.
Well, I was very shocked to find out how old you were too, because I was thinking the whole time, I was saying, "Goodness, this 30-year-old young man, he's like doing these wild things," only to discover that, is it 51 now?
52.
52.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But I always say 53, or I always add 1 year older. You know, so,
well, you're working on 53.
But now soon I have to go backward now, because we reach a point that you have to go backward. Now next year I'm 51. So.
I see. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you, Peter.
Oh yeah.